On February 4th, 2016, a printer died. Now, usually, a broken printer is just a great excuse to stand around the coffee machine and complain. But in the Bangladesh Central Bank, that dusty piece of office equipment was the only thing standing between the vault and the abyss. When the clerks found it silent the next morning, they figured it was just tech being tech. They were right, but it wasn't a paper jam. It was a digital heist so audacious, so brilliant, and so insanely lucky that it almost bankrupted an entire nation while the staff was literally sleeping. God-tier heists, mid-tier governments, and one truly embarrassing typo. Welcome to Banter and Bandits. Today we're looking at the billion-dollar ghost story that almost worked until someone forgot how to use a dictionary. So, how do you invite a ghost into a central bank? You don't. You hire them. Or at least, you think you are. In early 2015, a few bank employees received an email. It looked like a standard job application from a guy named Razal Alam. Honest face, great CV, looking for a break. Typical corporate white noise. But Razal didn't exist. One click. That's all it took. One employee wanted to be helpful, opened the attachment, and poof. Razal wasn't a job seeker anymore. He was a backdoor, a digital open sesame that invited our faceless crew to step out of the dark and directly into the vault's nervous system. The bandits were in. And the best part? The bank even sent them a confirmation email. Now, a normal thief, they would have grabbed the first few $1,000s and bolted. But these aren't your average grab-and-dash bandits. They're playing the long game. They stayed inside for a whole year. Let that sink in. For 12 months, they were part of the office furniture. While the bank staff was busy celebrating birthdays, arguing about the thermostat, and filing their taxes, the faceless were there, waiting, watching. They mapped every server. They memorized every security protocol. They even figured out which printer had the shortest fuse. They weren't looking for a quick score. They were waiting for the perfect alignment of the calendar. Because in the world of high-stakes heists, the most dangerous weapon isn't a gun. It's patience. The hackers basically cheated at time travel. See, when it's Thursday night in Bangladesh, everyone is already home on the couch for long weekend. But in New York, the bank is just opening for the day. The bandits hit them in that Goldilocks zone, when one side is sleeping and the other side is busy. It's the ultimate bank robber's cheat code. But they had one tiny problem, a snitch, an old dusty printer on the 10th floor that prints every receipt. If they moved the cash, that printer would start screaming. So they gave the printer a digital heart attack. One little glitch, and the only witness to a billion-dollar heist was out of paper and out of luck. Vault open, guards snoring, and that printer? Silent as the grave. The bandits were on a roll. They had already moved 81 million, and another 900 million was lined up like dominoes. They were minutes away from the biggest payday in human history. But then, it happened. The god-tier hackers met their match, the alphabet. One of the bandits, and we'll never know which one, was typing in the name for a $20 million transfer. The name was the Shalika Fandation. Easy, right? Except they didn't type foundation, they typed Fandation. A routing bank in Germany saw the red squiggly line of death and thought, wait, what's a Fandation? They hit the brakes, called the Fed, and the entire billion-dollar party came to a screeching halt. Imagine being the elite hacker who almost bankrupted a nation, only to be defeated by a 5th-grade spelling bee. It wasn't the FBI. It wasn't the police. It was a typo. So you've managed to move $81 million. Great. Only problem? It's all digital. You can't exactly go to a grocery store with stolen bank data. You need to turn those bits and bytes into cold, hard cash. And in the world of money laundering, there is no place on earth better than a Manila casino. Why? Because casinos are the ultimate black box. The bandits didn't carry bags of cash into the casino. They wired the stolen money directly into the casino's bank accounts. Once the money hit the house, it was clean enough to buy mountains of plastic baccarat chips. They played for a few hours, laundered the digital trail through the betting tables, and then they did the magic trick. They traded those plastic chips for bags of real, untraceable $100 bills. While the rest of the world was still arguing over the spelling of foundation, our faceless crew was already walking out the door with $80 million in cash. No digital footprint, no paper trail, just a very, very lucky streak. So the world went looking for a face. They wanted a name on a passport, a fingerprint, or a grainy security cam photo. But you can't catch a ghost, especially one that wears a better suit than you do. $81 million just evaporated into the neon haze of Manila. Yeah, the Fandation Typo saved the bank's life, but it didn't save their pride. They got robbed by a spelling error, for God's sake. But don't get it twisted. This wasn't just some kids in a basement. This was an elite shadow army, a digital hit squad. When the world finally stopped scratching its head, they gave the faceless a name. The Lazarus Group. And the scariest part? They aren't gone. They're still there, in the reflections, in the code, just waiting for your printer to jam. See ya!